I'm going to get right on with it, and kind of been playing with this Masterpreneur, which I see is also in India. So anyone that's come on from India, I'm with you with the Masterpreneur. And that's really what we're doing when we're studying. It's one of the steps towards being a masterpreneur is to monetize that voice of yours, that inner voice. And I'm playing around with it. So first, I'd like to be able to just set the scene a little bit for this constant evolution that we want to go on, so that we can move from these revolutions into evolutions and then go into our new revolution, because growth is constant. And I'm going to sort of demonstrate a live webinar by doing it exactly how we'd like to. And there's going to be some polls. Because we are live, I'm going to ask you to comment, and I'd love you to participate. But if you want and you just want to listen, that's also fine. Please note, I'm going to move through quite a number of things. I'm going to sort of set some learning. We're going to do some action as well. But there's going to be lots of tools and bonus slides that I'm going to share next week with you, which is going to have a lot more steps for you to continue to go on to your next level world, whatever that may be, for monetizing your inner voice. This is something really cool that we sort of came up with. And what we decided is the person with the best quality comment, best quality, not just quantity, comment will, or question, will receive a free 90-minute one-to-one session to take the next step towards further monetizing their inner voice. And Liezel and Mike have said they're going to help with that. So they're going to be the judges of that and watching what you're commenting and questions you're asking. So go ahead and make some realizations that maybe you're having along the way. So that will be a free one-to-one 90-minute session. So just go with it, but also know that there's recordings and playbacks. If you think I'm going too fast, then you know you can go back and listen again and pick up those little things that you might have liked to have got to. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing is, do not speak or speak. That's the question, and it reminds me of Star Wars, where it's do or do not. There is no try. And the Yoda says that. And so I think that's what we're saying here. Let's use the language of the affirmative side of speak, because that's what we're here to do. And I think what's really important to understand here is that the best singer or the best speaker is not always the one that monetizes the most. And it's just like the most talented athlete doesn't always win the race, or the environment isn't what's going to create you to have monetary wealth, because otherwise, if that was the case, we'd see people in a certain environment all getting wealthy, and that's not the case. So just like that, there's a certain way of doing things to monetize your inner voice to the next level that you'd like to go to. And that's what I want to give to you, is that certain way, some of the certain ways that I've learned that can help you to actually go to the next level. Whether you're just starting at wanting to be confident to speak one-on-one to someone that you perceive may know more than you, or that you would like to get work from in your business, or it could be to the many, it could be on a stage. So wherever you're at, that's fine. And I want you to just know that you're going to move from there. That's what we're looking to do. So where I'm going to start is that it starts with something that gets people to stop. And that is commonly known online now as a hook. And it gets people to stop and listen. And there's various forms of how you can do this. And I'm showing you some of Mr. Said's, Mike's beautiful work, the Marketpreneur, where he is actually like done these beautiful adverts like he did for me. And what happened was, in the advert, he sort of, when I was talking about what my topic was, it was monetize your voice is what I suggested. And he, because he's the expert, and he said, people might confuse that with voiceovers and things. So what he ended up saying was, let's do monetize your inner voice. And so that really helped me, thank you, Mike, to actually sort of be able to get that hook of getting people interested in the talk. And the other thing you can do is use a model. It can be the colors you use. Like Facebook did a really big study to decide on the color blue, because it was found that males and females both like the color blue the most, a lot of them. And that's why they chose blue. So what we're looking for is that hook where you've got those 4D images that sort of the wave kind of comes out of the advert, and that's going to make people stop. It can also be just something you say or the way that you look at someone when you say it that actually just gets them interested. And that's what we're looking to do here, is to have that hook. So we're going to go through steps from there. And these are kind of the steps that we're going to go on. It's a journey that we're going to work through this evening for me and today for you, or this morning for others. And so this is the sort of journey. And please note that it is a bit personal, because this is our inner voice and we're bringing it up, and there's personal things and barriers and blocks that can hold us back. So I am going to get a bit personal as well through this. And if one wishes to be all they are and to sort of own all the parts of their inner voice and transcend them so that they're able to monetize it, then this is sort of where we need to go. And so we're going to start at step 1, which is the backstory and connection. So people here want to know, how did you learn it or earn it? So this is where you are going to tell a story, and you're going to actually talk to people, and you're going to get them interested. And there are 4 sort of different stories that one can kind of tell. There is the origin story, which connects something from where they are to where they want to be using a new solution or opportunity. There's the vehicle story, which is actually the vehicle you're going to use. That's the process. So you're talking about the process that you do to get people. There's the internal belief story, which is to break through a false belief about yourself. So you tell a story about a fear or a false belief you had and how you worked through it. Because generally who you're serving is a representation of somewhere you were at one point in time. And then there's the external belief story, where you're actually helping a client or someone else to break through their barriers or beliefs about themselves. So depending on the size of the group and how much time you've got to talk, or how much time you've got to sell or offer your product to someone, offer your service, you know, you will need to discern which is the best story for you to tell in that moment. And you would prepare for that. So I'm going to choose to go with the internal belief story, which is my story about what the struggles that I went through to achieve it. And some people are going to call this vulnerability. And what I prefer to see it as is sort of a principle that Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater, who was very successful, talks about. Is he talks about principles. He's got a book called Principles, and he says to be transparent and truthful, because that way people are able to connect with you. They connect through that story. And so I had a huge limiting belief that I couldn't speak or perform successfully all the way through to about 2011 to 2012, especially on stage with a microphone. That was where mine sort of sat. And in 2010, I was having to go on stage to talk on the microphone, which seemed to happen sometimes. And it was to talk to 300 of our employees at the time. And I was begging like a little kid. I was behaving like I was scared to do my ballet performance when I was 5. I went back to that childlike behavior. Please, I can't go on and do this. I can't talk. I'm too nervous. And I was shaking, and I just can't do it. Please, can you go first? Which is what I said to Mats. And if Mats is here, hey, she will remember this. Like, I always wanted to make her go first, and then hopefully I would muster up some kind of courage to do what I needed to do and to talk to these staff. And it was after that point, it was very soon after that point, where I made a decision, after resisting speaking on stage, that it was time to actually make a new decision and work my way through this. And it was really holding me back. It was holding me back with my ability to serve others and to serve the many, and to actually serve the business as well, as we were trying to grow it. And so what I did is I needed way more than one tool. One tool was not going to cut it for me. I needed John DeMartini and his DeMartini method to dissolve fears that I had. I needed to go to Andy Harrington's course on, which was on speaking, a special course on speaking. I went to Annie Cloulot, who's a singer and performer and does body work. And she was teaching me things about voice and getting me to sing and do crazy things. And then I was doing visualizations, and a whole bunch of other tools that I went through, to name a few, to get to the point where I could actually step in and test these tools. And I was testing them in different challenging situations to take myself, to put them together and get a formula out of it. And that is the formula that I'd love to give to you. And so that's my story that allowed me to move forward to the point where I could speak internationally on a stage using a microphone in an inspired state, where it would flow. And when I was connecting with my audience and they could appreciate what I was saying and hear and connect back. And then to the point where I was challenged again when COVID happened, and I did 16 webinars last year in 1 month of April. So that is what I was able to do, and to learn again to use those tools.